What's up, savages? French vanilla creamer is definitely the nectar of the gods. And you know what's the nectar of, people who enjoy raping and killing innocent people is Facebook's new feature. The new feature is called Friends Nearby, and with the click of a fucking button, you can let your friends know exactly where you are at any given time. And what's the reasoning for this? Oh, I'll tell you. Look at this. The reasoning for this is because Facebook wants to encourage people to meet up in person. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. People aren't going to get thrown in body bags and kidnapped for sex trafficking. No. All because, and here's the truth. Here's the fucking truth. The only reason they want this feature to even be around is because they want to sell ads to you. They want to know exactly where you go so they can hit you with these ads, and then they can make more money by you clicking on these ads. It's disgusting. It is so stupid. So if anyone has Facebook and you put this feature on, you're a scumbag, and I don't like you. So anyways, I'm going to flip back to this, because I didn't do my intro. I just had to complain, because I hate things like this, because it's just taking advantage of people. And if it keeps getting worse like this, I'm just going to keep being this crazy psychopath who's just on here like, oh, don't do it. Anyways. God, it feels so much better, doesn't it? You can feel it get released in your body, in your body. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gandhi's Thoughts, brought to you by My Nutrition. I am Gandhi, and today, Savage Shirt. Was working on them 2 days ago. I suck at pressing shirts, but I can wash a mean shirt. I got that going for me. But yeah, so the Savage shirts are out. You can get them at ugcevents.com/store. If you use the promo code Gandhi, you get 10% off. It's a pretty good shirt. I gotta say, this is a large. I'm like 208 pounds at 5'11", so you guys can kind of base it off of that. So. Other than that, really cool. I haven't done a video in 2 days, and I guess I'll give like a brief explanation why. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I was busy, or my time is precious and I wasn't able to get to it, or I was feeling under the weather, because those are all cop-out answers. I'm going to go ahead and hit you with the straight truth. I didn't feel like doing one. I didn't feel like doing one. I know it sucks for everyone at home, but the one thing I've learned, and this is something I wish I would have learned back when I was a kid playing Halo, is moderation is key, man. As soon as you start getting burned out, what starts happening is you stop losing your passion for your passion, and it just starts dwindling away, and then it becomes a chore, and then it becomes, it becomes homework, and you're like, oh God, do I really want to go and do this, right? Like, I guess it'd be one thing if I sat down and I did like a video game review or like a player commentary, something like that. But, I'm coming on here and I'm just saying my thoughts on matters, right? Like, and I don't want to seem like a fucking douchebag and come on here and half-ass it, because that's doing you guys a bigger disservice than not doing you a video. So I apologize, but it's on there. But, I'm back. And that's just, I think that's the key to life, is moderation. Everything in life is okay in moderation, but it's the people who are excessive who either, they ramp up high and then they crash, or somehow they manage to stay up there. I'm not a person who can stay up there. Just not it. Now, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and roll out some Halo discussion here. So, I guess what was it? On Monday? Monday. I announced that we will be bringing back Carbon, which the only reason the name was that is because, whoop, right there. It was either that or Legends, and I was like, Carbon's just cooler, and we had better placings on Carbon than we did on Legends, so we'll probably stick with Carbon. But the team's going to be me, Golden Boy, Mr. X, and Maven, and we're going to be doing the irongaming event, which is this weekend on Sunday, and it should be a pretty good time. We're all going to stream it. It's going to be pretty much for shits and gigs, and one of the main reasons we wanted to do it is because, well, all of us kind of, one, we miss Halo, right? But there's something that's always left inside of you when you become a coach, when you become a caster, when you retire and become a personality, when you retire and just get away from the scene completely. Everyone knows what this is. It's this big pit in your heart that it just can't be filled. It simply cannot be filled. And Golden Boy has this, Mr. X has this, I have this. I think Maven's just, he's borderline retarded anyway, so I don't think he has anything. But for us three, it's this big pit, right? And it's not about, the adrenaline rush of being on main stage. It's not about proving everyone wrong. It's just about just showing how good you are at something. right? Like it's so overlooked. When you excel at something, right? When you are very, very good at something, all you want to do is keep that high, because there's nothing better than social comparisons in this world. We all know this. Everyone knows when you're on your highs, you always compare yourself to someone who's beneath you. So you're like, haha, you suck. And when you're at the very top, you can do that to the rest of the world. And so then it's like, haha, that's right, I'm better than you, but I'm not going to be a cunt because those people really suck. And then when you're doing bad, right, and things aren't going according to plan, you know, you look at the people above you and you're like, dude, there's just no way I'm going to ever get there. And I know those feelings. I've been having those so much recently, but it's not the time and place to talk about that. But, you know, it's just a big pit in my... that's just there that I wanted to do. And, you know, we practiced like once. I forgot how very, very strenuous Halo 4 is. And by that, I mean, it's just so frustrating. I mean, people aren't getting descoped. People are sprinting around. Connections, Garbola, and Forge maps just... like, great idea. But, God, I hate Forge. And the main reason I hate Forge is because everyone just tries to recreate things from the past and put them in new games, and without giving other maps a shot. That's really my main problem. So yeah, it is what it is. But you know, the one thing I wanted to talk about here today is, well, one was that, like, that's awesome, and then, you know, the Optic Halo thing will come later down the road as soon as they announce their team. But yeah, Optic has announced the Halo team. It's going to be starting Flamesword. It'll be amazing for the scene, no questions asked. But the other thing I want to say is I got asked a question, and the question was very simple, but it like completely perplexed my brain because I didn't know how to answer it. And the question was, how do you make it in the esports scene, Scott? Because you're doing so well for yourself. Number one, I'm doing okay, right? Like, I'm not doing well at all. Like, I'm not here to talk about financial stuff, and I'm not here to talk about, like, oh, yeah, I'm the best, right? Like, everything sucks. Anyone who talks about that stuff is just super insecure. I have no idea how to tell you this besides I think I'm the worst possible person to follow. I really do. I would never follow anything of me. Right? You have to understand, for anyone who gives a shit about this, and I'm expecting everyone to kind of stop after that last part, for anyone who gives a shit, right? I was a national champion, and then I played. I was also a personality, right? I was known as like a trash talker. I was funny-ish. Nah, I was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. I was a pretty cool kid. I was funny, and then when I lost the drive for X amount of reasons because of women and booze, and I'm young and I have money, you know, I kind of just approached him. And when you're on a family-based relationship with, you know, Sundance and Puckett and every one of MLG, it's easy to go, hey, can I become a caster? Because I think I'll be good at it. Yeah, you know, like, that's very, very easy to do. So I wouldn't copy me at all. And then if you look at my growing pains, like, I'm like the worst possible person to ever listen to. Ever. Like, go back and look. Like, I am super straightforward, which I think is a good thing. I believe that one's good, but it doesn't work for everyone because most people who are straightforward just come off as complete dicks. I think I'm a dick, but some for whatever reason just trust my opinion. But, you know, like, I handle myself poorly, I cuss, I do a bunch of stupid shit all the time, I drink on stream. Occasionally, I've actually been cutting down on my drinking, but like, these are things you don't want to see. Like, I attacked developers, like, the whole 2013 year, like, all I did was lash out at 343. I've been around Halo for 11 years, man. 11 years. I've been casting it since 2009, and I didn't get to cast global championships. And why? Because I'm a douchebag. Like, I'm a shitty person. It wasn't anyone else. It was me. If I was a half-decent person, I probably would have casted Call of Duty Champs. I think. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I would have casted it if I didn't just lash out at them all the time, right? Like, I wouldn't tell anyone to follow any of my steps that I did. In fact, I think you avoid anything like me. But like, you know, if you want to make it in this like esports scene, and this is just this, I guess this is what I would say. And this is kind of like the underlying principles of me is be blindly ambitious, dude. Like, just, you can't even know the bridge is there. You just have to fucking jump. Like, that's it. You just have to jump, and as soon as you're like in air, you just gotta keep praying to God that the bridge is gonna turn up, or else you're just gonna fall off the cliff. Like, that's really how I feel. I think the second thing here, and I think this is the most important, right, for companies and for people, right? The two things you can't do is you can't build a company based on wanting to make money in this scene. And it doesn't matter if it's an organization or a website or anything, or your YouTube, right? Like, you gotta do what works. You can't, reinventing the wheel's awesome, right? But sometimes you gotta get your foot in the door. And I know a lot of people aren't gonna agree with this, but like, I think once you get your foot in the door, then you can start reinventing the wheel just a little bit. And you can revamp everything, but you can't go in and be like, oh, this month sucked. This quarter has been terrible on me. And the business, we haven't made anything. We've gone into our pocket like X amount of dollars. Like, we're just done. You can't, if you're gonna have highs and lows. And if you can't ride that wave, then you just got to get out of here, because it's gonna swallow you whole. And that's really all I have. Like, I have no idea how to answer this question, so I apologize completely, because to be fair, like, it kind of just hit me in the face. Like, I wasn't expecting any of it, so that's that. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I love you, but I don't love you. Also, last but certainly not least, buy the Savage shirt, all right? UGCevents.com/store. I'll put it in the description. It's awesome. The green actually looks a lot better than the red, too. But, as always, take it easy.